Are you constantly surrounded by people, but struggle to know who you can truly trust? Have you ever found yourself questioning the intentions of those around you? In this video, we'll be exploring the wisdom of legendary samurai Miyamoto Musashi as we delve into the 9 types of people you should never put your faith in. Type 1. Those who constantly break promises. Relationships are held together by promises, which provide the function of glue. In the event that someone makes a pledge and then fails to keep it on several occasions, their dependability is called into doubt. A lack of regard for the time and expectations of others is shown by those who violate their commitments on a consistent basis. It is possible that this conduct is the result of a number of different factors, including egotism, ineffective time management, or a basic disrespect for the emotions of other people. When it came to his way of life, Miyamoto Musashi was well aware of the significance of dedication and reverence. He was of the opinion that a genuine fighter must live up to their commitments and demonstrate integrity in whatever they do. When a person fails to keep their word, it is indicative of a more fundamental flaw in their character, namely a failure to recognize the significance of what they have spoken. The lessons of Musashi serve to remind us that trust must be built on a basis of unwavering dependability and personal responsibility. Breaking commitments causes a domino effect of disappointment and resentment to spread across the community. Trust is progressively eroded with each promise that is not delivered, making it more difficult to sustain a good relationship. Once you have identified this pattern in another individual, it is imperative that you do a critical evaluation of the connection. Should you invest your time and effort into them, or are they only guiding you down a road that will cause you to have expectations that are not met? One of the most important things you can do to protect yourself is to set limits and explain your desire for honesty and dependability. In your immediate environment, surround yourself with people who are aware of the significance of commitment and are prepared to keep their promise. Taking this action will result in the creation of an atmosphere that is conducive to the growth of trust and relationships. Type 2. Those who are consistently dishonest. Dishonesty is a poison that begins from the inside and spreads outside, contaminating relationships. Individuals who engage in constant lying weave a web of deception that has the potential to trap not just themselves, but also people in their immediate vicinity. In order to gain anything in the near term, dishonest people often manipulate events to their own benefit, compromising their integrity in the process. Mistrust and disappointment are the ultimate outcomes that result from this conduct. In each and every facet of life, Musashi instilled in his students the significance of truth and clarity. He was of the opinion that a fighter must face the truth with integrity, confronting both hardships and adversaries with bravery along the course of their journey. Dishonesty, on the other hand, is a manifestation of both fear and weakness. When someone lies, they bring to light their incapacity to confront the truth, which in turn destroys the basis of trust that exists between them and others. A combination of attentiveness and intuition is required in order to identify a pattern of dishonesty in a person. Don't dismiss your gut feelings when something doesn't seem quite right, and pay attention to any discrepancies that may be present in their tales or behavior. If you put your faith in a dishonest person, you may end up experiencing betrayal and heartbreak, which will leave permanent scars on your relationships. In order to safeguard oneself, make transparency a top priority in all of your contacts. In order to establish a foundation for good relationships, it is important to promote open communication and honesty. Your ability to establish a supportive atmosphere that encourages mutual respect and integrity is directly correlated to the number of trustworthy people you surround yourself with. Type 3. Those who show a pattern of betrayal. Especially when it comes from someone we trust, betrayal may be one of the most excruciating experiences that one can go through in their lifetime. When individuals engage in a habit of betrayal, they often put their own interests ahead of the well-being of others. This persistent conduct demonstrates that they have deep-seated problems in their character, which determines that they are not deserving of your confidence. In his teachings, Musashi places an emphasis on respect and loyalty. An authentic warrior is one who is loyal to their allies and recognizes the significance of loyalty in the process of constructing solid connections. The act of betraying your trust is a violation of this basic value, which demonstrates a lack of regard for the connection that you have with another person. The gradual nature of betrayal makes it challenging to identify patterns of treachery, which might be difficult to recognize. Small actions that seem to be harmless may be the beginning of the problem. Yet, over time, these actions may show a constant contempt for your trust. It is important to be on the lookout for any indications of treachery, whether it be the violation of confidences or the support of your rivals. To safeguard oneself against betrayal, you should work on developing a robust sense of self-awareness and surrounding yourself with people who are exemplary in terms of their loyalty and integrity. Not only should trust be earned, but it should not be easily given. Being able to recognize the indications of betrayal will enable you to make more informed decisions about the relationships you have. Type 4. Those who lack empathy and remorse. It is essential to have empathy in order to have good relationships because it enables people to connect with one another on a more profound emotional level. People who are lacking in empathy and regret often fail to comprehend or care about the emotions of others, which makes it difficult to develop relationships that are meaningful. Because of their failure to empathize, they often engage in damaging acts that have the potential to erode trust. In addition to recognizing the significance of emotional intelligence, Miyamoto Musashi understood the significance of knowing other people. The genuine definition of a warrior is someone who is sensitive to the requirements and emotions of their allies, displaying compassion and respect for them. Individuals who are lacking in empathy often operate in a self-interested manner, ignoring the influence that their activities have on other people. It is imperative that you proceed with caution if you come across someone who frequently gives off the impression that they lack empathy. The person in question may take advantage of your weaknesses, demonstrating a complete lack of concern for your emotions or well-being. They are often unable of acknowledging the repercussions of their acts, which results in a trail of emotional pain being left behind by them. Place a high priority on developing connections with people who demonstrate true empathy and compassion in order to safeguard oneself. Develop an atmosphere that is conducive to the growth of trust by surrounding yourself with people who are prepared to listen and comprehend what you have to say. Through the cultivation of relationships that are founded on mutual respect and comprehension, you may protect yourself from the suffering that is caused by others who are not trustworthy. Type 5. Those who are excessively secretive. In many cases, secrecy is the source of mistrust and distrust. Excessively secretive people have a tendency to conceal significant areas of their life, which creates a barrier to open communication and openness in their lives. Because of this conduct, which might be a result of a desire to manipulate or control information, it is difficult to develop a foundation of trust. In order to be a true warrior, Musashi recognized that one must always behave in a way that is both clear and honest. The establishment of solid connections and the cultivation of trust, in his opinion, are both significantly aided by openness. It is common for someone to have hidden agendas that might compromise the integrity of your relationship when they withhold information or behave in an extremely secretive manner by withholding information. Careful observation is required in order to identify cases of excessive secrecy in individuals. It may be an indication of a more serious problem if they frequently avoid answering inquiries, they avoid providing personal information, or they seem uncomfortable while discussing their lives. This kind of conduct is often an indication that the person in question is not completely trustworthy and may be concealing something. The need of open communication in your relationships should be emphasized if you want to protect yourself from people who are secretive. Transparency and honesty should be encouraged, and you should establish a baseline for your relationships. By surrounding yourself with people who place a high value on openness, you may establish a trustworthy atmosphere that contributes to the development of deeper relationships. Type 6. Those who exhibit controlling behavior. People that are controlling often try to exert their authority over others, which undermines their independence and freedom. There are many different ways in which this behavior might present itself, including micromanaging and manipulating circumstances in order to preserve control. People who have a tendency to exercise control over others often put their own interests ahead of the well-being of others, which results in an atmosphere that is tainted with mistrust and is poisonous. Musashi had the belief that a genuine warrior values the independence of others and recognizes the need of maintaining a healthy equilibrium in interpersonal interactions. On the other hand, controlling conduct is indicative of insecurity as well as a lack of respect for the autonomy of any other individual. When someone makes an effort to exert control over your behaviors, ideas, or feelings, it is a clear indication that someone has violated your trust. Being vigilant and forceful are both necessary qualities for recognizing dominating conduct. Watch out for any indications that you are being manipulated or that someone is trying to influence your decisions. Your sense of self-worth is often compromised by a dominating person, leaving you with a sense of helplessness and confinement. You should emphasize relationships that are founded on mutual respect and independence, and you should declare your limits in order to protect yourself. Rather than surrounding yourself with people who aim to dominate you, surround yourself with people who empower you. It is possible to establish an atmosphere in which everyone is able to flourish if you cultivate relationships that are founded on trust and liberty. Type 7. Those who are consistently negative and pessimistic. Negativity has the potential to spread like wildfire, altering the dynamics of interpersonal interactions and having an impact on the environment as a whole. People who are continuously gloomy and negative tend to sap the energy of people around them, which results in an atmosphere that is characterized by mistrust and hopelessness. They have a perspective on life that might undercut your self-assurance and delight, which can lead to a partnership that is poisonous. Even when confronted with challenges, Miyamoto Musashi highlighted the need of keeping a cheerful attitude and a balanced perspective. In order to be a genuine fighter, one must develop the qualities of resilience and optimism, bearing in mind that difficulties are an inevitable component of life. It is becoming more difficult to cultivate trust and teamwork when one is surrounded by negativity. It is necessary to practice mindfulness and self-awareness in order to identify negative persons. Pay close attention to the effect that they have on your feelings and your perspective on life in general. In the event that their negative attitude constantly knocks you down or obscures your judgment, it may be time to reevaluate the existence of the partnership. Put your connections with people who are positive and inspiring at the top of your priority list in order to shield yourself from negative influences. Put yourself in an environment where you are surrounded by good influences that facilitate development and resilience, so establishing an atmosphere in which trust may flourish. Type 8. Those who take advantage of others. Taking advantage of other people for one's own benefit is a glaring example of someone who is not trustworthy. The interests of the individuals who take advantage of others are often prioritized above those of people who are in their immediate vicinity. In every relationship, this conduct demonstrates a basic lack of respect and empathy, which undermines the basis of trust that makes the partnership possible. The teachings of Musashi place an emphasis on the significance of mutual respect and understanding in terms of interpersonal interactions. A genuine warrior is one who understands the importance of working together with others and who strives to elevate them rather than exploit them. It is a reflection of the intrinsic weakness and lack of integrity that a person has when they continuously take advantage of other people. For the purpose of identifying exploitative conduct, thorough monitoring is required. Pay attention to patterns in which someone persistently wants to gain from your kindness or support without providing anything in return. It is possible for this relationship to result in sentiments of bitterness and betrayal, as well as an imbalance of trust on both sides. Establishing clear boundaries and prioritizing relationships that are founded on mutual respect and support are both measures you may take to safeguard yourself. Place yourself in the company of people who recognize and value your gifts and who encourage you rather than those who take advantage of your generosity. Through the cultivation of relationships that are founded on trust and reciprocity, it is possible to establish a more favorable relational environment. Type 9. Those who have a history of badmouthing others. Individuals who indulge in the practice of badmouthing or speaking adversely about others on a regular basis typically indicate severe failings in their character. This conduct not only demonstrates that they are unable to establish relationships that are respectable, but it also demonstrates that they have a tendency to create drama and turmoil around themselves. When someone has a history of spreading negative information about other people, it is a clear indication that they lack integrity and trustworthiness. Because of this, it is essential to analyze the position that they play in your life. In every engagement, Miyamoto Musashi underlined the significance of honor and respect for their respective parties. Someone who is really a fighter is aware that negative comments and gossip may be detrimental to both relationships and reputations. Not only can engaging in badmouthing do damage to the individuals who are the topic of the gossip, but it also brings down the reputation of the person who is spreading the gossip. The belief held by Musashi was that a warrior had to rise above such petty behavior and conduct themselves with dignity and respect. Attention is required in order to identify someone who constantly speaks negatively about other people. Pay attention to the discussions they are having and take note of whether or not they often talk negatively about their friends, professionals, or even acquaintances. In the event that someone is ready to speak negatively about other people behind their back, it is only a matter of time before they shift their attention to you. On top of that, those who engage in gossip often contribute to the creation of a poisonous atmosphere that weakens trust and togetherness. Being in the company of such people may result in the development of a culture of dread, in which individuals are reluctant to speak freely out of fear that they will become the next subject of gossip. This dynamic undermines the integrity of good relationships and contributes to an environment that is characterized by mistrust. Develop connections with people who place a high value on respect and integrity in order to shield yourself from the potentially damaging effects of others who spread negative information about you. Instead of engaging in toxic gossip, surround yourself with people who are positive and supportive of one another and who participate in talks that are beneficial. Through the cultivation of ties that are founded on honor and mutual respect, it is possible to establish an atmosphere that is more upbeat and trustworthy. Building connections that are both healthy and enjoyable requires that you have a solid understanding of the 9 different sorts of individuals you should avoid trusting. Through the application of Miyamoto Musashi's sage advice, we are able to traverse the complexity of human relationships with clarity and understanding. We are able to empower ourselves to make better choices and to surround ourselves with people who exemplify integrity, honor, and respect. When we recognize these sorts of people who are not trustworthy but who are nevertheless there. Maintaining vigilance and discernment in our interactions is very necessary in our world, which is rife with people with a wide range of personalities. Earning someone's trust requires being honest, acting in a consistent manner, and providing reciprocal respect. Through the implementation of Musashi's lessons into our everyday lives, we have the ability to build meaningful relationships and create an atmosphere that is conducive to successful trust. When you are traveling through life, it is important to keep in mind that gaining a knowledge of human nature and identifying actions that are not trustworthy can lead to relationships that are more robust and satisfying. If you are interested in living a life that is full of respect, honesty, and trust, you should embrace the knowledge of Miyamoto Musashi and allow it to guide you.